Hello everybody and happy September. I hope you're feeling ready to join me in this month's journaling session. It's going to be a little bit different from what I normally do. So we're still going to do a cover page and we're also going to do a month of the glands and like decorate it. So we're going to do some blackberry design with some really kind of autumnal looking like orange flowers. That's going to be nice. And then on the second page we'll actually have like some little journaling prompts that you can like fill in throughout the month. So things like your top 3 goals or lessons you learned in the previous month, and prioritizing, so what it is that you want to prioritize, or if you had any challenges in the previous month, like how can you improve on that, like what have you learned from it. So, and also things you're excited about. So a little bit different, and I thought, you know, it's nice. It is about journaling. So a lot of people say, oh, they make it look all pretty, but they don't know what to write in that. So I thought I'd just make it a bit different. I hope you enjoy it. It's going to be a really pretty autumnal design. So let's get to it. I am very, very excited about autumn. I don't know about you, but I'm just like looking forward to all the things and like watching Gilmore Girls and drinking hot chocolate and like pumpkins, like going to a pumpkin patch. So yeah, it's really exciting. So I can't believe the summer's over, but I hope this session just gives you like a nice creative time to transition from summer into autumn. Do a bit of journaling, do a bit of drawing, calligraphy. So yes, I hope you enjoy it. So let's get to it. I thought I'll show you the pens I thought on using in this tutorial. So you'll need some colourful pens, and I really love these Tombow Dual Brush Pens. So it's nice to have some red, pink, like darker pink, purple, green. So see if you can find similar colours. And I'll add a link, you know, and all the shades in the description, so you can always have a look. We'll also need some lovely pens for calligraphy. I'm thinking of using this purple Pentel brush sign pen and some red pen as well. And we'll need a pencil. It's nice to have a yellow pen as well for some drawings, and a fine liner. You will need a fine liner. It doesn't matter what make it is, as long as it is a fine liner. Lovely. And obviously your little sketchbook. So open up a new spread and let's get to it. So we will need actually a black Tombow Dual Brush Pen as well. I really love these pens because you can use the other tip. So one tip is a brush, but you can use the other tip to create like a really nice uppercase style calligraphy, and I'm really enjoying it lately. So I'll guide you through it. We'll do it together. So we're going to start with the letter H. So we're going to write Hello September. So I'm starting with the letter H that's kind of like slightly curved. I'm really enjoying this style right now. And then we're going to do the letter E that is kind of like a capital E. So it's definitely the same height as the letter H, but it's got this like really straight line, and that's the line you're kind of beginning it with. So the loop is not very round. It's quite like a basically like a half circle shape. So yeah, it looks quite nice. And then just see how I'm not joining everything up. I'm definitely leaving some gaps in between, but I'm definitely stylizing these letters. I'm going to do the letter S like this with a little exit stroke that's kind of like tucked in a little bit. Then the letter E is the same again, and on the letter P, I am doing this little loop, like wrapping it around a downstroke, and I think it looks really good. Then the letter T has just like a nice cross line. Letter E again. Oh, it's a long word, September, isn't it? And I'm really enjoying doing the letter M in this style. So I'm definitely stretching it all the way up and then just dropping the second part of the letter M a bit lower. So that can look quite good as well. The letter B, another E, and for the letter R, we're going to do something like this, where we start with a little entry stroke and then also like finish with a longer exit stroke. Okay, so it looks quite stylized, it looks quite pretty. So have a go, and I hope you love this style as much as I do. Lovely. And this is where we're going to start drawing. So we're going to use the top of the page. So yeah, think of your writing kind of being in the middle. And let's just start by drawing this really long curved line. So this is going to be the branch of the blackberries, kind of holding them together. And we're going to start drawing some leaves. So I'm just doing like a big cluster of 3 leaves, and I'm also showing that there's like a bit of a detail in each leaf. You can do the veins of the leaves. So just take your time, work with each leaf individually. This definitely takes a bit of time, but the results are so pretty. Lovely. Now I'm doing another little cluster of leaves, and don't worry if it overlaps your original kind of stem, that's okay. So the branch, it can do that, it won't be visible once we color it in. So just doing the same thing. Lovely. So starting with the leaves, showing a lot of detail in each of them. So seeing where we can add a few more like clusters of 3 leaves. So these look really natural, quite nice. And everything that's kind of on the other side of the branch will be dropping down, and this is where we'll be attaching little blackberries. So it's going to look really pretty. So we're just setting the scene. And just continuing filling the space with more leaves. So you can do as many as you like in any positioning you like, but do try to keep them kind of in clusters. I think they'll look a bit more natural that way. I've also done a couple of flowers like at the top. You can also do that because there are often flowers when you look at brambles, you know, there are kind of little flowers peeking through. It's really pretty. All right, so when you're ready, we'll start attaching like little circles onto these like extended lines that we've done. And in every single circle, we are going to draw little like more circles and you can see that I'm kind of like building on, and when I come to the bottom, this is where you can like correct the shape a little bit. So the first one is always a bit tricky, so I'm doing another one. You can see that it's shaped a bit better. So just start from the top, do the circles or like half circles, and when you come to the bottom, so you want to show like a little pointy tip, I would say. So yeah, so like the bottom of the berry is a bit more pointy, so it comes together, doesn't it? And you can achieve that look by just doing like one circle at the bottom. So yeah, play with it, just try to make them look juicy and fairly big, and do as many as you like. And once you've done your initial composition, we can start coloring everything in. So when I'm coloring, I'm kind of leaving a bit of white space on purpose. I think it looks really good. So I'm just using a green Tombow Dual Brush Pen, and I'm using the brush tip, so everything's a bit easier to cover. I love that the tip is really big, so it doesn't take a long time to just cover and color in each leaf, so it's quite nice. So yeah, definitely being a bit careless about it, not worrying about being too precise, and I'm just coloring in. I'm going to do the flowers, and I'm also going to do the tops of the berries, so we have a bit of a green detail there, but every like fine detail, like the actual branch, I'm gonna leave it as it is. It's quite nice to show that really like thin stroke and not ruin it by going over with the pen because it was just a bit thicker. So yeah, I think this looks quite nice. Let's grab some sort of a purplish, kind of bluish, like darker pen to do the actual blackberries. You can also do raspberries if you like, but I think blackberries look nice. And I am also just coloring in. And the thing here is that you can also like blend in a bit of a red pen. So very often you'll see that maybe the berry isn't ripe just yet, so it appears a bit reddish or even a bit of green. So it's quite nice to show that, so you can see that I'm just using another pen and doing a quick little stroke in red, and then trying to like blend it in seamlessly so that it does look natural by going over the purple pen again, and yeah, just working on it really. And I'm going to do the flowers in pink. They are normally pink flowers in blackberry bushes. You can see them. So yeah, they do look really nice. They add like a nice little detail. So it's really up to you how many you add, but I hope you have fun with it. Just try to get into the process, relax, and do as many as you like. When you're ready to carry on, let's do the month of the glands, and this time we're actually going to do it on the same page as the cover page. So I'm just writing month of the glands in a stylized kind of small lettering. I'm trying to keep it small, I'm using my fine liner pen, and now we just need to fill this in. So we're going to do 2 lines as normal. We usually do this every month. So we are going to then fill these lines with numbers, and I'm just going to do a quick sketch in pencil. I do find it really helps. So before using a ruler and doing like really rigid and straight lines, I'm just making sure that I'm happy with the positioning. So doing it freehand can really help. And then grab your ruler and just make sure that they're straight. Lovely. So now it's time to fill this in, and I'm just going to do all the letters for each day. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Make sure you spread them out nicely, because there'll be some, you know, double numbers, like 30, you know, so it's quite hard to squish in if you don't leave enough room. And I'm going to go over my pencil lines, kind of doing it freehand. I want it to look quite natural, so I'm trying to be straight. But there we are. Lovely. So the 1st of September is on a Sunday, so we're starting with the number 1 there, and we're just carrying on, so just filling in, and I think it ends on the 30th on Monday. And let's go ahead and decorate this with some beautiful orange looking, you know, autumnal looking flowers. So all I'm doing is I'm just doing like lots of these C strokes, and it's like a little rose, but it's not really. So we just started from the middle, doing some C strokes and just doing some thinner lines around. So it can be very messy looking, as long as it looks round. You're all good to go. So then I'm going to grab a fine liner, and I'm going to do lots of little circles in the middle, and then just like a really fine line around the petals, just to define everything a bit more, so it kind of takes shape a bit more. And this just looks so simplistic, you know, but so effective as well. I really love it, and I love the colour, so I used orange on purpose so that it looks autumnal. I hope you enjoyed too. So just go around the centre and kind of the outer part of each petal and show it a bit more in detail. And when it's time to do leaves, you can just do 3 lines like this for your fine liner, and then grab like a green pen, a brush pen or any sort of pen, and just do 3 like round looking leaves. I think these look really nice. And let's do that for every single flower head. You might feel like you want to add in some more, and that's lovely. So you just do as many as you like, just to make it all kind of full looking. Lovely. Let's move on to the other side of this spread, and we are going to do some actual journaling prompts. So we're going to use calligraphy to like write a nice heading or the prompt itself, and then we're going to leave a line at the bottom like underneath it, so we can actually write something down. So we are going to do 5 different prompts, so we need 5 sets of 2 lines. As you can see, I've done 3. I'm doing the 4th one, so just doing 2 lines, and then I'm going to do 2 lines at the bottom, and that's going to be the 5th set of 2. And this will just give us enough room so we can actually write things down, and it all looks nice and neat. So the first prompt we are writing down is your top 3 goals. So just for the sake of saving space, you're just going to write top 3 goals. So notice how I'm doing brush calligraphy and I am doing bouncy calligraphy. I'm trying to keep everything fairly small. Notice how I'm bouncing certain letters like H and R and keeping the letters E quite small, and I'm definitely stylizing everything, so I'm switching between bigger letters and smaller letters, and that's okay because it is allowed in brush calligraphy, modern calligraphy. You can break the rules and it just makes the lettering look a bit more interesting. You don't have to fill the answers in now, you can also do it later, so this could be like a designing session, or you can just go ahead and do it all together. So this second prompt is going to be all about the lessons you learned in the previous month. So maybe just write them down and kind of ask yourself, how can you move forwards knowing those lessons, and what did they teach you, and how did you kind of feel processing it all? So the lessons learned, I think it's just really, really nice to note that down. Lovely. So that's the second one. Now we're going to do the third one, and it's all about prioritizing. So how can you prioritize your well-being, your emotional health? So what is it that you can implement, and what habits can you put in place to help you prioritize things that are actually really important to you? So I think that's such a good prompt to reflect on. So just take some time thinking about it as you write it. There we go. So that's prioritizing. So the next one is all about recognizing the challenges that maybe you faced in the previous month, or maybe something's coming up that you are just, you're kind of aware that it's going to be a bit challenging for you. So how can you maybe change your thoughts patterns around it? How can you empower yourself and maybe find some situations where you did accomplish something similar in the past? So again, just kind of journaling on it, putting it out there, putting it on paper can really, really help to feel better about it and kind of give you a bit more clarity as well. And the last prompt is something you're excited about. So what are you excited about in this upcoming month? So in September, what it is that you're looking forward to, how can it motivate you in some other areas of your life? So yeah, I think it's just nice to note down. Lovely. So I'm just making sure that the line underneath the calligraphy is nice and visible, and we might just rub out everything else that we don't need. And yeah, just making sure that we have a nice line there, so we can write our answers whenever we want. You can do it now or later. There we go. And let's decorate this page with some really lovely autumnal details. So I'm drawing this mushroom, and I'm doing this little cap, so you see how it looks like a mushroom. And then I just did like another line underneath, and in that space in between the top and bottom part, I'm just adding some lines in there. You can do a lovely little stem and also add some dots in the actual top of the mushroom. And now it's really good to find some beige color, something neutral that you can color in the bottom part of the mushroom, and then do the cap in red. I think that's going to look really good. So you can still see the details shine through. Everything that you've done in a fine liner is still visible, but it also adds a lot of color, which is lovely. We can also do this sort of a mushroom where we start with the top that kind of looks like a half circle, and then we're going to do this little rectangle and just add in some lines. It's like a little skirt. Imagine you're like drawing a little skirt, and then like a bigger mushroom bottom, like leg of the mushroom. So there we go. So that looks nice. And then we can color it in brown, and also add some like beige detail, and two colors like this, like really neutral, looks really earthy. I think it's just beautiful. Well done. And you can do as many as you like. So I'm going to show you how to draw each element, but then you can just use it as a pattern and just draw as many as you like. So I'm doing this little berry design next. So starting with a nice long kind of stalk, and then just adding lots of these lines at the top with like a little circle at the end of each of them, and then adding some leaves. Really simplistic, but this looks so effective. I really, really love. I think drawing with a fine liner is just so beautiful, because it's like everything you draw will look lovely, and especially all of the botanical elements is definitely really, really nice and relaxing to do, I think, because the end result is really pretty. And let's not forget about our blackberries. It would be nice to blend some of those in as well. So literally just doing some individual ones. It's the same thing that we've done before. and maybe a couple of oak leaves might be nice. So we can start by just doing this little line like this, and then doing the actual leaf shape around it. That could look really pretty, and then you can color it in green or yellow. Yellow might look nice as well. I'm just adding some like veiny detail in there as well. And let's do little pumpkins as well. I love starting from the middle, and then I'm just kind of like coloring in and doing more of these like C curves around the middle, and I'm trying to leave like a tiny little wide gap in between of them. I find that this is like the best way to get a pumpkin shape, well, at least for me. So see if that works for you as well. There we go. And that's pretty much the end result. I really hope you enjoyed this. I had so much fun designing it, thinking about it, and I can't wait to fill it in myself. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next month.